Hi everyone, Jess here, executive producer of Project LOKI. In this series, I'll cover some of our upcoming changes and thinking behind them. Also, before I get started, I'll remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, sign up to Playtest, because we're a small, itty-bitty, independent studio, and it really helps us out. Okay, let's talk about what's going on. We've got our last playtest of the year, and it's an 8-day playtest in North America. Playtests run November 30th to December 7th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time every day, so set your clocks, mark your calendars, and come play some games with us. Longer playtests take a lot more energy compared to our usual 3-day tests, but they're really important for us to understand how the game evolves over a week of play. In terms of what's new this playtest, we're trying to keep our change list down because we've been putting a lot more work into server and client performance. That said, there won't be zero changes coming in, just smaller adjustments as we try to dial in the best version of the build to get a clean read on the game. I'll cover a few changes, but since this is going to be our last Fireside chat of the year, I'll also share thoughts on how things have gone in 2023 and maybe a hint at what's to come in 2024. Last month, we had 2 big changes we wanted to pilot in the form of Universal Melee and our new Hype system. I'm happy to say that there was a lot of positive reception for both, although we've heard your concerns about Punch nerfing Melee heroes and possibly homogenizing some kits. For now, let's see how Punch feels after another playtest of soaking. We've also done some cleanup on the mechanic. I'll also say we aren't as worried about the possible trade-offs, but we're keeping a close eye as we move forward. As for Hype, you loved it, we loved it, we're keeping it. Many of you told us that picking the Storm Shift was an okay reward, but getting the spotlight and being the Hype squad was the most important thing. We'd prefer something that really leans into this motivation anyway, so we're removing the Storm Shift picking as we iterate on the system. We'll also be clamping down on our numerical tuning. Some of y'all are good, but maybe not 7 figures good. As for other changes, we're doing a general balance pass on heroes, as well as dialing down some large area of effect abilities like Assault's Ultimate and Seraph's Ultimate. We've also made some improvements to the drop phase, map, and minimap that you'll see once you get in. Reflecting on this year, 2023 was pretty big for us, especially coming off of our project introduction in June and getting to grow the community significantly. I'll say it's crazy to look just a year and see how dramatically the game has changed since then. At the start of this year alone, we didn't have gliders, storm shifts, armor, half of our hero roster, a lot of our environment art, our new expanded map, a majority of our powers, and a lot more I'm sure I'm forgetting. As a community, some of you have stayed with us through multiple combat models, entirely new maps, and like 5 different equipment systems. I remember 18 months ago, we once had around 10 to 12 heroes before we totally changed our combat, boiled our roster down to 4, and rebuilt it from there. So, to our first believers who played through Night Minotaurs, Tuk-Tuks, and Combat 1.0, to our casters, creators, and streamers like Mendo, Taxi, Signway, Lin, Spun, Relic, Scissorman, Necrit, and Spacey, who take the time to play and give us incredible feedback. To one of our first believers, content creators, and playtester number 130, Voderant, you had a big impact on all of us and we miss you. To our hardcore competitors and theory crafters who immediately turned every feedback post into massive, sprawling debates, you could all be, maybe less spicy and more charitable to each other, but we appreciate you nonetheless. To our incredible fan artists, montage creators, and meme makers who have given us the only emojis we use to communicate on Slack. To our ride or die moderators all over the world building secret legal-themed esports clubs, incredible Discord bots, and onboarding guides that have to be completely updated every playtest. To our growing crew of mentors that have tirelessly answered the same 2 questions 24/7 for the past several months. To all of you, we're able to move this fast because of you. These playtests give us so much energy and let us try so many things on a month-to-month time frame that I really appreciate you all for coming along for the ride. Some of you have asked when Project LOKI is going to launch, and while I won't spoil the date, I do think we're getting more confident in the magic of the game. There's still more to do, but in 2024, I wouldn't be surprised if we slowed down just a little on our prototyping and moved more towards refining systems and polishing the game. I know I'm being vague right now, but next year is a whole month away, so that's a consideration for future us. For now, we're focused on this 8-day playtest, maybe hosting a mini hackathon before the holidays, and then we'll be back in 2024 with some new news. Until then, happy holidays, and I'll see you in playtest.